all aboard. All aboard again, my friends. We are here for part two of this two-part tribute into the career and life of Ozzy Osbourne. We are because it is a two-part series essentially. There's going to be a lot that we're gonna. If you want all the info, go back and listen to the Black Sabbath episode. For example, we won't go through everything we talked about there, but I'm here. I am Brett, and I'm here again with Joe and Cody to talk about the rest of Ozzy's solo career. Do you guys have anything interesting you'd like to mention as that you've been up to, or do we want to just jump into this?
I just want to briefly mention last night my wife and I went to see the classic Prince concert film Sign o' the Times in IMAX.
Oh,
They just released it in theaters in a remastered form. Prince was one of my favorite artists of all time. I actually had never seen this movie before, so it was kind of interesting in that regard, and it was a lot of fun. Alexis, even not having been nearly as big a fan of Prince as I am, had a great time with it, was kind of in awe of what an amazing performer he was. So I think it's in IMAX this weekend only, so any listeners probably will not be able to see it, but they did show trailers for a couple other concert films that are coming to IMAX theaters soon, so keep an eye out for those because I feel like it is the best way to see a concert film.
Nice. I will just plug. Recently, I was watching the latest AEW wrestling, which is redundant because the W is wrestling, but AEW pay-per-view at home here, which was live from London. And that was a lot of fun to watch because it was during the morning/afternoon. I think the pre-show started at like 10:30 our time because it was London time. So they've been doing some of these shows around the world, which have been interesting because of the time zone differences. It's been really nice to like watch a 5-hour wrestling pay-per-view and be done at like 4 p.m. Like that's just really appealing to me. And then have like the whole night to be able to do whatever else I need to do. So that's kind of fun. And yeah, so my current dilemma there is they're coming back to Chicago on December 27th for their first, I think, pay-per-view in Chicago this year, their last one. And I'm in debate because tickets go on sale Tuesday as we record this. And I'm tempted to buy myself a good seat to go watch it, probably by myself, not with my son, just to save money. But my parents usually visit for Christmas, and they've claimed they're not visiting this year to stay home. So my dilemma is, do I buy a ticket by myself, like somewhere good, and then risk that they do end up coming, and then I could have taken them to the show, or that we could have stayed home and just watched it on TV. So it's a dilemma. I'll update with how that plays out as the year goes on. So
Buy the tickets, and if they show up at your house, just hit them with a steel chair.
yeah, that's a good idea.
pretty good. I was just sitting here thinking, and I don't know if I have anything interesting to talk about. Seeing we literally just are recording this as we recorded the previous episode and talked about stuff we've been
Shh, don't ruin the magic.
Don't peek behind the curtain, Brett.
Sorry.
You don't know that we record 100 episodes in one day.
It's because we're pros.
Yes.
Barack Obama's still president, right?
Oh, I wish, Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let's get into it here. So, as I said, we this is part two of a two-part series for kind of honoring Ozzy's career, both with Black Sabbath and his solo music. And so there were things we talked over in the first episode, for example, like just our personal histories with his music and how it's kind of impacted us. I mean, we don't need to go over that again. Go listen to the first episode. One thing I didn't mention that I'll just mention here briefly is that he is the artist that I've seen the most in concert by quite a wide margin. I saw him 5 times in total, twice with the set of Black Sabbath. So it was it was always really cool. The last time I saw him was actually in at Joe Louis Arena, while I still had Joe Louis Arena.
R.I.P.
And
both Ozzy and the Joe.
yeah. And that was especially fun because I just it was just a small just general seating area, and I like worked my way up. I was probably like 10 feet away from like the front fence before the stage. So I got pretty close, but it got too crazy. So I went back and I chilled out with a bunch of biker gangs.
Nice.
Nice.
So that was fun. They were actually like really cool, chill dudes.
In my
So
experience, most bikers are
yeah,
Now, for the audience
pretty
at
good
home, you're
guys.
picturing like motorcyclists. Brett's just talking actual mountain bikers.
yeah, they had speedos and like water bottles strapped to their hips.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I have to say, I'm kind of jealous of your Ozzy concert numbers. As I mentioned in our Black Sabbath episode, I saw Black Sabbath twice in concert, and I always wanted to see Ozzy as a solo artist, but just never really got the chance. I, as we may talk about later in this episode, I also was a very big fan of Zach Wild,
Whoa.
who has his own Black Sabbath tribute band called Zach Sabbath. Um, Zach Wild, and I've seen Black Label Society live,
Mhm.
but I always wanted to see Ozzy with Zach Wild on guitar and never got the chance. So I'm
Yep.
jealous.
I never saw Ozzy and didn't even get to Fozzy when they were nearby here, so
Womp womp.
nothing. I did want to ask you guys though, what are you guys wearing tonight? The
Well,
t-shirt specifically before I make it creepy.
oh, sorry. I am currently wearing, I believe it's the oldest shirt I own.
Wow.
Wow.
Since I kind of purged some of my older t-shirt collection that I just simply never wore anymore or haven't didn't fit into because I've grown in more than just age. Um, but what this is like my Black Sabbath shirt, and it's like my concert shirt. I wear it to other concerts if I don't have a band shirt for that band.
Nice.
And it's especially fun because the back of it says, and I'll turn and try and speak at the same time, but it says, "Listen to Black Sabbath" on the back.
That's
So
pretty awesome.
I'm walking around subliminally spreading the news.
I can't see what your mind is from. I am also wearing a Black Sabbath t-shirt that I got the second and last time I saw them on their The End tour, which I think was 2017. It was either 2016 or
Sounds right.
2017.
Yeah.
And it was a great show.
Nice. I am wearing my classic black for Black Sabbath, but also a Star Wars shirt here
No,
I see
in
it.
honor of Ozzy
it's
enjoying the prequel series from Star Wars, even though this is Boba Fett, but still he loved Star Wars and also questioned why the ships were better in the prequel than the original trilogy. And also allowed a fan film to use war pigs. So there's that.
Oh, didn't know that.
The connection is strong with this one.
interesting. Huge fan of Gungans, Ozzy.
Yeah,
You saw people gonna I.
good one. Um,
That's funny.
oh, more fun stories. I mean, the reason I saw Ozzy 5 times was because I saw him 4 times at Ozfest. To which my ears are actually still ringing from Ozfest 2004. No joke, they are still ringing from that.
Oh no.
I believe it. I too have tinnitus from going to too many loud concerts.
Yeah. But that also was the show where Zach Wild was doing an autograph signing thing, and I got in line for that. Met him, shook his hand, and this is actually really embarrassing to talk about. I probably insulted him quite greatly
Oh.
because I was like sitting in line waiting to get my autograph, and I'm thinking, oh God, what can I talk to him about? That's like I want to like connect with him somehow. And like my head went, oh, there was this article recently where he said that Sharon Osbourne like basically forced him to trim his beard because it was too crazy. And so I got up there and I said, oh, I see Sharon has allowed you to grow your beard back out.
Oh no.
Or something very similar to that. And
Oh, no.
My face is growing warm just telling this story because I'm still embarrassed like 20 years later. But yeah, that was my time meeting Zach Wilde. So
That's fun.
Young Brett was not necessarily smart all the time. So we I guess let's get into it here. I also went over in that first episode, we went over kind of the start of Ozzy's career with Black Sabbath, some of the early stuff. So not going to rehash much of that there. We'll just jump into it here with the first album from Blasey, from Ozzy, titled Blizzard of Oz. I'm not even the one drinking here tonight. I'm just
Woo! That was your first mistake.
That was your first mistake.
Flustered from telling my embarrassing story here. And so Ozzy went on from Black Sabbath to start his band. And
Ozzy got fired from Black Sabbath.
He got fired from differences in, I think, just personality, also, and just musical styling. They were like, yeah, this has got to go. But one thing of interest note here that I was going to mention is that so Black Sabbath picked up Ronnie James Dio from Rainbow, correct?
Yes.
I was 99.5% sure that was correct. Ozzy, for his band, now I don't have it here in front of me. I'm going to not be able to find it, but it picked up two members from Rainbow as well. So I'm guessing Rainbow just disappeared after that, because
Rainbow's only typical to last so long. So
all the
he also picked up a member of Quiet Riot.
Yes, we will absolutely be talking about here momentarily.
Yeah, we will.
But first album from Ozzy was titled Blizzard of Oz. That came out in 1980. And again, just to kind of rehash here, what we're doing, we are going through each album of his career. We are giving our favorite song from that album, perhaps talking about the album in general, just in how we felt about it, or any kind of themes or anything. And in that way, we are kind of giving ourselves a bit of a game, because it forces us to pick one thing, even though there's probably multiple songs on that album we love. And it also gives us a way to kind of explore his entire career. So all that said, Blizzard of Oz for me was definitely a big album. Like there's several songs on here that are really good. I feel what's interesting about Ozzy's solo career is that the styling and just the general sound of his music, while still being, obviously very heavy, was definitely very different from Sabbath. Where Sabbath, as we said many times, was a very like this doom metal sound, kind of like this apocalyptic, another world kind of thing. Ozzy's general sound, I think, like throughout his solo career, was much more upbeat and fun. He was someone who definitely didn't have a problem putting like odd things in his songs, whether it be sounds or just like phrases or themes. It definitely was. He was like having fun with the music more. And so here, the song that I went with here is Crazy Train. I mean, it's hard to really, like I said, there's definitely other big songs on this album, but I mean, how can I not pick Crazy Train? I mean, and really, what can be said about a song that's like this iconic? From the starting, the all aboard, and then the bass line that kind of sets the pace, and the guitars come in like screeching, like literally screeching in. It's just fast paced and heavy. The chorus is like really catchy, both in the vocals and the music. Just awesome guitar work throughout. It's just like it's fun metal, And I think that's like one of the biggest things that sets this song apart from as like one of the greatest metal songs in history.
Yes. To kind of echo, I mean, talking about the album as a whole, right from the start, it kind of establishes that Ozzy sound is not Black Sabbath sound. Like you said, it's like faster, more dynamic. A lot of that, I don't think we've said the name Randy Rhoads yet, but
Yeah, yeah.
the person that he got from Quiet Riot, which is honestly a thing I didn't know until very recently, that Randy Rhoads had previously been in the band Quiet Riot, because I don't think they became what they were known for until later.
Mm,
But a very young, very talented guitarist named Randy Rhoads, who Tony Iommi is amazing. Tony Iommi is a god. Randy Rhoads is also a guitar god. Like an amazing player, very different style than Tony Iommi, and this album kind of shows you that right off the bat. Like I said, a lot faster, more dynamic, kind of a brighter sound, I would say overall. Like you said, Brett, as opposed to like the doomy, gloomy sound of Black Sabbath. In my notes, I say this album is all killer, no filler. It's kind of insane how many of the like essential Ozzy Osbourne songs are on this first album, and like this being his, debut solo album, it's wild that they're all on there. Um, for my song, I mean, obviously, Crazy Train is an amazing one. I had to go with Mr. Crowley. I said, while the main riff is not as complicated or iconic as the main riff in Crazy Train, I think the multiple guitar solos on this song are absolutely incredible.
mm,
I'm particularly a fan of the kind of second solo, which turns into the outro, which has a like neoclassical vibe to it. It always, I don't know if this makes sense to you guys. It always kind of reminded me of like Castlevania. Like it's got a weird kind of like Baroque classical vibe to it.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Randy Rhoads just incredible. I mean, I love the subject matter, like kind of playing into the heavy metal trope of like addressing the occult. I mean, the song's about Aleister Crowley, um, you know, renowned quote unquote magician and Satanist. It's just a fantastic song from start to finish.
Well, you're both wrong, and here's why. First of all, I want to remember that moment in history where Ozzy was offered the chance to read for Pirates of the Caribbean. And to honor that, I'm drinking all of the coconut rum that I had in my cabinet tonight. So this podcast could get interesting as it keeps going.
For the record, since we talked in the previous podcast about what we were drinking, I am drinking a Nordic Summer, which is
Ooh,
a lot of aquavit and some Aperol and some lime juice.
okay. Very nice. Um, I'll bridge the gap between you two. So my runner-up song for this album was Mr. Crowley. Fun shreds on a guitar, unique intro to what almost sounds like a synthesized church organ. If you think about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
really memorable among all the Ozzy songs. And Master Wordsmith Score +4 uses the word polemically in the lyrics. So there's that as well. But my winner for this album was, of course, Crazy Train as well. Um, it might be my Ozzy pick. We'll see. But it has that nice, really fun dual headphone intro. I love when songs do that with kind of like the back and forth if you can hear the audio in each ear. It has that kind of famous, well, it has a lot of famous parts, but it has like that moment where there's like that simulated, almost like rattlesnake effect at the beginning, which is always really fun to me. It's like, you know the part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bass is a real good feature in the intro, which is awesome. And then the guitar, of course, starts that riff, which is just fantastic. Get to the choruses. It's interesting that in a song called Crazy Train, where he even says all aboard, he didn't actually throw a train whistle in there. It almost seems like something he would have done at some point in the song, but it's not in
Yeah.
there. It is a fantastic song, though, so that's my pick as well.
Yeah. This was one I shared, and it's kind of, I know this is like a small inside joke here, is that having seen Puddle's Pity Party recently in concert, I've become a pretty big fan. But he did a cover of this song, and I shared it on Facebook because it's very stripped down, and like you can really hear the lyrics very clearly. And the lyrics on this song are like they just are very poignant even today. Um and like definitely it's something, if you're not really familiar with the lyrics, probably something to listen to, actually pay attention to. Uh but yeah, it's such an iconic song, and like, I mean, a little surprised none of us picked No Bone Movies, but I mean, is what it is. So, uh, anything on before we go to the next album? Anything else?
I mean, it is, I think, worth noting that Suicide Solution played a pretty big role in the backlash against both Ozzy and heavy metal in the 80s because
Yes.
people grossly misunderstood the actual message of that song.
Yeah. He's not telling you to go kill yourself, people.
No, like again, like as we've discussed already on the previous podcast, Ozzy, often wrote and sang about mental health struggles of various kinds.
Mhm.
Um, and people often misunderstood him.
I
Yep.
mean, it was obviously tongue in cheek when he said wine is fine because wine's disgusting as hell. So there's that. Yeah, sip your nectar of the gods.
Oh, I will.
Drink to that.
All right, let's move on
Also,
to
Goodbye to Romance is a great track. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Absolutely.
this album is like wall to wall bangers. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's hard to go
pretty
wrong.
close to perfect.
Yep. Um, moving on to album number 2, titled Diary of Madman, coming out in 1981. Uh,
I thought it
this
was Diarrhea Madman.
that would be very different.
Make me mad too, man.
um, this song or this album, interestingly, I have a playlist that I made in part for so I could research for this podcast, but also just so I have it for later. But there are 8 tracks on this album, and 5 of them made my list.
Wow.
So that says a lot about this album. I feel like he and the band together really kind of like perfected what they were doing on the first album, even though that first album was so good, had so many big songs. I feel like it really kind of came together here, even though the songs aren't the biggest hits, on this album. But
Don't tell me Little Dolls was on your list.
it's not actually. It's one of the 3 that didn't make it. But
If
Yeah,
it had
that's
been
good.
Dirty Dolls, he would have picked it.
Yeah, you would have.
that's true.
Dirty Dolls all night
Dolls.
long.
Anybody else want to kick this one off?
Got some Dirty Dolls.
Cody, why don't you kick this one off?
I'm going to kick this one off. My runner-up on this one is the song Believer, which I don't know for sure that I had heard prior to this. It has a really different sound to it, though. It's almost described it as like a seesaw motion, where it's like reminded me a smidge of Suicide Solution in that way, but kind of also adds in like an overlay sound effect that's like a semi or a train horn, and then goes over that with this like electric voltage sound effect, which apparently is actually singing if you follow the lyrics, which I've listened to it multiple times and I just can't hear words in those parts, but it says there are words being said in those parts, which is nuts.
Interesting.
Thanks for tuning in to tonight's episode of Man with No Musical Background Describes Songs.
Hey, hi guys. I'm Justin Henry, and I'll be here.
Oh,
Yeah, good variety arranges for Ozzy on this one. Guitar is so fantastic. And interestingly, Joe, I put on that one almost like a Dark Castlevania theme in my notes.
All right.
So there we
All
go. But my winner for this one was actually Over the Mountain. Just pure escapism, breathless beats that keep going, fun, really Ozzy vocals on this one are great. Guitar works fantastic. We get the slower, softer parts as well with the heavier, rockier parts, and very instrumental actually. If you just kind of look at the time usage of the song, it's a really fun one. So I picked Over the Mountain with Believer as my runner-up. Could change if I keep listening. They might
All
flip-flop. We'll
right.
see.
I kind of agree with you, Brett, when you said that you feel like the band really kind of came together on this album, but I don't feel like it's as good as Blizzard of Oz.
That's probably
Um,
true, honestly. I kind of agree with that.
I said like this album, like they're still rocking strong, but I was a bit more mixed on it than Blizzard of Oz. I felt like some of the songs were starting to flirt with more of an 80s metal, like almost hair metal-y sound. Including the song that I picked as my favorite, which is Flying High Again. Oh no, here we go. I mean, I've always liked this song. It rocks really hard, but it kind of struck me listening to it now. This feels like it could have been like a Poison or Motley Crue song.
No, that's the next
Like,
album. Stop stealing my notes, Joe.
listen, we'll get there, but
God
I mean,
damn
I feel
it.
like this is starting to have like shades of that. Like, I mean, it clearly like sounds like Ozzy and like Randy Rhoads' guitar is awesome, but like if you take a step back, like I don't think it's crazy to think that this could have also easily been like a hair metal song.
I can hear that. Yep. Uh, I so this is what I definitely like. As I say, there's five songs on this album that really kind of stood out to me for different reasons. Um, Flying High Again, I had in one of those like kind of top two spots for a while. Then I kind of shifted around. Over the Mountain was the top for a little while. But ultimately, what I'm going with here is Diary of a Madman, the title track. Um,
What?
and Well, the reason why I love this one is it starts out with these kind of weird, kind of eerie tones. Um, like even like the vocals, like he's like truly like bringing about like this feeling of madness in this song. And I feel like this is like part of what I like when I opened the episode here, kind of talking about the stylings of his solo career. There was a lot of theatrics in it. It wasn't like to the level of some other artists who are like full blown kind of like this theatrical act, but definitely you know was willing to do more than just make music. Like he's putting on a bit of a show. And I think that comes out a lot in this song. I really love all the orchestral elements in like the second half of the song. There's like some stringed instruments and other things in there. Um, I feel like it pairs really well with the rest of the sound of the song. And then you get like some like chanting and like kind of this occult vibe. And it's like
That
this
doesn't sound like Ozzy. I don't know.
No,
it's
what?
like this vampire metal song. But I like especially like the second half of the song like really nails it home for me as my favorite on this album. And for the record, the the other songs I had, "Believer," I also really love, and "Tonight" has like a slower, almost ballad kind of song. Uh, has a really cool sound to it that I love. So, uh, and with that break, in the albums here, um, this is the point where we have to talk a little bit about the loss of Randy Rhoads.
Ooh.
Died tragically in an accident with an airplane, where the guy was
Oh, it was so
basically,
stupid.
yeah, like basically like being a show off and like doing these low passes over the tour bus, and then literally ran into the tour bus with the airplane, uh, killing both the pilot and Rhodes. Um, and really like I mean it definitely because Rose and Ozzy were very good friends, by all accounts, and it's been said many times that like he went into a deep depression
Yeah.
after this.
Randy Rhoads was also only 25 at the time. Like it
Jeez.
was
Yeah,
like seriously just tragic.
yeah, yeah, just a huge loss for music in general. Uh, but it was between the second and third album where we had uh basically all of Ozzy's like real infamous moments. So 1981, um, and I think no, technically I think this was actually before the accident, but 1981 was where Ozzy was in a meeting with his record producers, and as like a kind of this kind of theatrics kind of bit, they released some doves into the room. One of the doves happens to just land on Ozzy's leg, and he decides to pick it up and bite the head off of it. To which everyone in the room started screaming horrifically. I have no idea there's a reason why, because that seems perfectly normal. Uh, but that certainly was like one of the big kind of uh uh moments in his career that really kind of set him as like this kind of really crazy personality, just insane. But also then in January of 1982 we get the infamous bat biting incident, in which I didn't really like how exactly this started, but somehow they had started convincing people going to concerts to bring in like random pieces of food and throw them on stage, and Ozzy would eat it. This is like an absolutely insane kind of thing, but um, someone snuck in a real dead bat and threw it on stage, and that was the thing that Ozzy chose to pick up and bite into. Upon which, quickly realizing it was not a rubber bat like he supposed it was, later got a bunch of tetanus shots, not tetanus, rabies shots. So that I'm sure was a lot of fun.
The worst part about that to me is I was reading about this recently, and the guy who brought the bat in said that it had been dead for like 3 days.
Oh God.
Like that just makes it even
Oh
more horrific.
yeah.
That's so
I
gross.
didn't know that they like actually identified who that was.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then very shortly after that, February of 1982, was the infamous pissing on the Alamo moment, where Ozzy, very drunkenly, was at the Alamo, and peed on a part of one of the monuments in there, not the, as I say, it wasn't like the wall of the Alamo itself. It was like a monument or statue or kind of thing. But he was arrested and banned from San Antonio for a decade after that.
No big
So
loss there.
yeah, probably wasn't. So just a little bit of history there between albums. So
That
moving
was
on,
before Pee Wee lost his bike in the basement of the Alamo. So
oh, okay, yeah,
not by a long time, but
interesting.
by a little bit. So
Uh, album number 3, titled "Bark at the Moon," releasing in 1983. This here with Jake E. Lee on guitars.
Ooh.
Um,
who?
anyone want to kick off here?
I like the new drummer they brought aboard from the band Superpowers. His name was American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and his name was that he played the drum all over the time here. Randy Rhodes gone, but Dusty Rhodes back now. So it's okay, Daddy. Let's do this. Let's see. I chose for my
What just
runner-up.
happened?
I don't know, something alcohol. I don't know. My runner-up on this album was the Center of Eternity. Nice church bell motif through this song, which is fun. And this is the one, Joe, that I said was like Ozzy Osbourne meets Motley Crue. Journey to the Center of Eternity on this one. The music's more fun than the vocals on this one, though, sadly. But my winner on this one is actually A Bark at the Moon, which is just all sorts of silly Ozzy. Anytime he gets to laugh in a song, that's always good for everybody, I think, involved. I'm not positive if this song's about a zombie or a werewolf or a curse or what it's about, but there's good guitar work,
All of
a
the
fun
above.
drum beat, lots of occult imagery, and of course, this is high Ozzy in his makeup phase. Not well, possibly high Ozzy is in drugs as well, but I just his
Probably
best
works.
makeup phase is what I'm talking about here. So,
It's fair to note, like all his album covers also like feature him in like some
Yeah.
wild like
yeah, that's
70,
true.
like
Yeah, the Diary
thematically
of the Madman one
yeah.
is pretty
Yep.
crazy too.
Yep.
Um, I said of this album, the title track is a classic, but this was definitely a step back for Ozzy. Randy Rhoads left some big shoes to fill, and it doesn't feel like Jakey Lee was entirely up to the task. I picked for my favorite song, Bark at the Moon. As I already said, it's a classic. It's a great song. It's got a good driving riff and beat and some fun lyrics. The guitar work is good, but definitely does not feel as iconic as Randy Rhoads. Um, I mean, it sucks. Like, I feel like at this point, Ozzy was still kind of feeling Randy's loss and probably still going through some shit. I'm gonna probably keep shitting on Jakey Lee. He's a good guitarist, but he's no Randy Rhoads or possibly unnamed guitarist to be discussed later. Also, he played a Fender Stratocaster. That's not a heavy metal guitar. You don't play heavy metal on a Fender Stratocaster. Randy Rhoads played a Gibson Les Paul or Flying V, which are both heavy metal guitars. Unnamed future guitarist also played a Gibson Les Paul. Those are heavy metal guitars.
Why you gotta be like this?
You don't play metal on a fucking Fender Stratocaster.
Stop coming at him. What's up with that?
I don't know. That's just fun.
Uh,
More
I
like fake Ely. What?
um, I also had Bark at the Moon with high marks here. One thing I will say is that like the ending of that song has like a really incredible guitar solo to like finish off like the last 30 seconds or so was like so fast and cool. So I do have to give Mr. Lee some credit for that. But that
Would have
said,
been cooler on a Gibson. I'm just saying.
it might have been. I cannot deny that. What I went here with my favorite song is maybe a smidge of an underdog. It is the song "Waiting for Darkness."
What?
Yes. And like there's something about the riff of this song that I find like really like addictive. It's a word I used previously, and I'm going to use it again here. And for much of the same reason, like the guitar work is, I would say, not like terribly intricate, but there's just something in the progression of the guitar in there that I really enjoy. And the vocals are really good too. I love especially the chorus is just very catchy for me. I the more I listen to this song as I was doing my prep for this, I was like, yeah, this has to be the one. And there's like later on here, there's like some like horror kind of like elements and tones in the music as well, which I really enjoy. So, yeah, for
The
me,
only horror I heard was Jakey Lee.
for me, Waiting for Darkness is the standout on this album. Jumping ahead 3 entire years to the 4th studio album titled The Ultimate Sin.
That was the end of Ozzy. We're done.
Released in 1986. This was one that we had some discussion on behind the scenes in our chat before we did this. But I'll just kind of repeat some of those thoughts again. It feels like the thought that came to me the most was that they kind of had a formula for making 80s metal with this band. And they said, okay, here's the formula, make every song like that. It does feel like it's more polished. It has like a more professional sound to me, I feel like. But it's also like less inspired, maybe. I don't know. It's not quite the same. It's kind of like better in ways, but also just the album in general is not as good as what was before it.
It's almost as if the ultimate sin is Ozzy hiring Jakey Lee in the first place.
Wow, this poor guy.
For the record, Jakey Lee, if you're listening, I'm just kidding. I'm just having fun.
Jakey Lee is one of our few listeners, and he is angry as hell right now.
Latvian resident Jakey Lee.
Yes.
That said, my favorite song on the album is "Shot in the Dark." The last song on the album. I do love title track "Ultimate Sin" as well. It's very kind of cool and has like this kind of evil sound to it. But I kind of love "Shot in the Dark" almost because of that like polished sound that I was talking about. Like it's less kind of bombastic, but it's very catchy. And it just feels like clean heavy metal. But I do love this song quite a bit.
I said about the Ultimate Sin, we are definitely deep into the 80s now. More hair metal vibes than I need from Ozzy. Lightning Strikes could have been a Van Halen song if Jakey Lee was a better guitarist. I'm sorry, Jakey Lee.
He definitely getting hashtagged up on this one.
I mean, it gives me Van Halen vibes though. Overall, I this album is just like the most 80s and not necessarily in a good way. That being said, I also picked Shot in the Dark as my favorite song. That is an Ozzy song that I have always enjoyed. Like you said, Brett, it has pretty slick production, but like not really in a bad way in this case. I don't even know how to describe the overall like vibe of this song. I don't know. I just really like it. Including some good guitar work from Jakey Lee. It pains me to admit it. But he's pretty solid throughout. So that's like the one real standout song on this album to me.
Yeah, so I just messaged Jakey Lee's Red Dragon Cartel account on Instagram and told him all the shit you're talking about him. So get ready. Just kidding, but he does actually have that out there. So this album, I did not even pick a backup song on.
Listen, I just want to say, Jakey Lee, you are a much better guitarist than I will ever be. But I only have 3 fingers on my fretting hand, so. Oh, wait. Also, Tony Iommi is a better guitarist than you'll ever be, Jakey Lee. I'm sorry.
Oh, stop it. The only song I picked was Shot in the Dark. It's a good classic. Good harmonies in this one, good transitions into the verses. It kind of mirrors what one of you was just saying, I feel like, but in different words, where I wrote Ozzy's voice is just about peak tone in this song, though it's probably not his best actual singing. So take that for what you will. That's the only song I picked off this album.
Fair enough.
Let's just get to Scream. Come on.
All right.
Best album.
I don't have enough booze to get through Scream.
Best album. Best album.
Jumping ahead to 1988 with the album No Rest for the Wicked, which is an interesting album, I feel. To me, I think it definitely doesn't have the hits from the earlier albums. Crazy Babies is a song that was I definitely heard quite a bit early on. I think it got a decent amount of radio play. I was familiar with it. Um,
You know, this album does have pinch harmonics all over the goddamn place.
uh, I don't even know who's guitarist on this album.
Zach Wild. That's why there's so many fucking pinch harmonics.
Wait, what? He was on this one?
Yeah, I was shocked too. I thought No More Cheers was his first album,
I
but in
did
fact, No
too.
Rest for the Wicked is the
Oh,
first Zach Wild Ozzy album,
interesting. Okay,
which
well,
I honestly had never listened to this album before, but I knew within about 30 seconds of the opening track that it was definitely Zach Wild.
I mean that makes complete sense now listening to it. But yeah, I thought he was on No More Tears is the first one. But okay.
Can confirm Wild's in, Dusty Rhodes is out.
Um, I guess I'll go first here. So uh my favorite song on this album, um, I'm going with Fire in the Sky. Um, and the song it starts out like it's very cool to start off with. Definitely like a different vibe because you just get the drums coming in with like this like almost a heartbeat kind of pacing to it. Just kind of comes in, literally like fades in. And you get like a lot more like synthesized sounds and vocalizations in here, like almost like chanting at points. Um, but then the guitar hits and it's really dang good. It's just incredible guitar. And the melodies are really cool, and I also enjoy like the theming of it as well. It has, like almost like a medieval kind of feel to it in some ways. Um, but yeah, I just love the sound of this one. It's got really cool melodies that I just enjoy.
Cody.
Yeah, this was not a great album for me. I picked no runner-up song here, and I went with Crazy Babies just as my winner here, which is not even close to one of my favorite Ozzy songs, but I guess it wins this album. My only side note on this one is Bloodbath in Paradise, 1988, sounds like Cheeseburger in Paradise exactly 10 years later from 1978. So there's that.
Fair. Um,
Needs more Jakey Lee, I thought.
Boo. For my notes, I said, you can tell Zach Wild is here because there are immediately pinch harmonics all over the goddamn place. Definitely feels a bit harder than Ultimate Sin, but overall not my favorite album.
Maybe, Joe, for our non-audio inclined listeners, could you demonstrate a pinch harmonic just verbally so we know what that is?
So it's kind of like a squealing sound that is, I mean, you definitely hear them here and there, like in the Jakey Lee era, but like it's one of Zach Wild's signature moves. It's like I don't really, it's literally just like a guitar squeal. Like listen to Miracle Man, the first track on this album, and it's like all over the place in that song. It's I can't even replicate it, but it's like a wheel, wheel, wheel. Like it's just like a high pitched squeal that you get. It's there's a certain technique that you use to do it, but it is Zach Wild is known for heavily employing it.
Hmm.
Much as I have referenced that and like to give Zach Wild shit for it on occasion, I did pick Miracle Man as my favorite song on this album.
Hello.
Um, for me, it immediately kind of signals a different direction for Ozzy's solo career. Even though this is far from my favorite work that Zach Wild did with Ozzy. Zach Wild is like 21 at the time of this album, by the way, so he's a baby.
Mm.
Um, I think it's an interesting start to the album. I also love the fact that the song is an overt dig at televangelist Jimmy Swaggart, who had previously targeted Ozzy Osbourne with various claims of him being a devil worshiper and sitter and blah, 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 and then got caught up in a prostitution scandal. So Ozzy
Oh.
took the opportunity to write this song about that.
That doesn't sound right.
And I just kind
Never,
of love the
never.
pettiness of that.
I do enjoy that myself as well. Yeah, that was my runner up on this album was Miracle Man. Yeah, great guitar work, and also just like as an album opener
Yeah.
was really good. So, yeah, just the album as a whole, this is one that it's like I said, it doesn't have the hits, but I do enjoy it. Uh, most of the songs on here, it's kind of like an interesting middle album for sure. Uh, we do get an uptick in his career here. Um, Jumping ahead to 1991 with the album No More Tears, which
Never heard of it.
never heard of it, but
No more
um,
tears.
was called by many people as like a second coming of Ozzy, as he kind of was seen to be kind of in decline after the album No Rest for the Wicked,
Fair.
coming back hard with the album No More Tears. And there's a lot of good songs on here. It was definitely hard to pick from this one.
Yeah, this was probably the album that I had the hardest time picking a single favorite song off of. For my notes for the album, I said, "Holy shit, what a record! As close to perfection as we get post Randy Rhoads. Several all-time Ozzy classics here, along with some lesser-known tracks that I love." Um, I haven't really given any runners up previously, but I do have to give a shout out to "Mama, I'm Coming Home." If you had told me that Ozzy Osbourne and Lemmy Kilmister, the frontman for Motorhead, sat down and wrote a song together, this is not what I would have imagined that song to be.
That's really true.
But they, in fact, did write this song together. I mean, this, God damn it, I'm going to get emotional again. I was listening to this album a couple days ago and had a little bit of a breakdown when this song came on. I mean, I think this era of Ozzy is when I first really, became a fan of his solo career. And this song specifically is just a beautiful song that he wrote about his wife, and specifically kind of about the realization that if he didn't get sober from his various addiction issues, that he was probably going to die, and not have a wife in the life that they had together any longer. Um, I mean, like lyrically and like as far as the message, it's beautiful, but I think sonically it's a beautiful song too. There is some really nice guitar work from Zach Wild. I think the main riff is played on a 12-string guitar. Um, and then, there's a nice solo in it. It's kind of like the perfect Ozzy Osbourne power ballad. Like it's kind of, there's some later like acoustic elements, but then the solo goes pretty hard. I saw after Ozzy passed that there was a billboard put up somewhere that said "Mama, I'm home."
Mm, nice.
And that kind of hit me in the feels. So that's an incredible song that I had to shout out, but not my favorite song off this album.
Oh,
Um,
what?
my favorite song on this album is the title track, "No More Tears,"
This guy, wild card.
which I am having yes more tears right now. I think "No More Tears" is just an absolutely incredible song from start to finish. Um, it's interesting. I'm sorry that I keep talking about guitar stuff. I love guitar. It's interesting to me that it starts with like slide guitar, which is not something that you hear a lot in heavy metal, and like I don't think really in any other Ozzy Osbourne stuff, but like the opening of the song has this like slide guitar, and then it goes into the main riff, which is like iconic in its own right. The bass on this song I really love, which is like really what kind of kicks things off. Um, there's like a breakdown in the middle that is weird and interesting and kind of beautiful. There's like a keyboard and something about a hand in a bush, which I still don't know what that's about. Um, but then it builds up to, I think, probably one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. Like Zach Wild, I feel like Zach Wild grew a lot as a guitarist between No Rest for the Wicked and No More Tears. Um, No Rest for the Wicked, with all the pinch harmonics all over the place, whatever, it felt like he was kind of showing off and trying really hard. No More Tears, I feel like he's a fantastic guitarist. He feels more assured, and I feel like he weirdly knows where to show restraint. Like this solo kind of starts in the background and he's playing more slowly, and then it just like builds to this crescendo and he just like explodes, like playing fast, shredding all over the place. And it builds, and then it just stops and like goes back to that bass riff. And it's just
That's a cool moment. Yeah.
like 10 out of 10, no notes. It's just like a phenomenal guitar performance, like one of the best of all time, I would say.
Well, as usual, you'd be wrong. So here's what I chose on this one. My runner-up is Hellraiser. Just a really
Also
good,
co-written with Lemmy and also
yes.
recorded by Motorhead.
Also early 90s jam. This one slaps hard, as the kids say. My winner off of No More Tears, though, is actually Dirty Women 2021, which was fantastic. Now, it's Mama, I'm Coming Home, and Joe stole every single note I had. Sweet Soulful, Peak Ozzy. We got the 12-string guitar, which just sounds really different among the songs we've heard by Ozzy so far. Um, it's interesting, too, like the title on this one, like Mom, I'm Coming Home, just knowing again that it was about Sharon and like being saved to keep living, but like lyrically by its title could very well be about death as well. So it's just kind of a really dual meaning passage of words, I think, which is it's really interesting. But this is a great song, and that was my winner for this album here. Mama, I'm Coming Home.
This album, as we've said, it was very difficult to pick from. This is the the only one that I have essentially like two backups on here. And the second of those backups is No More Tears, despite how great it is. And the first song I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to a curveball out here at the last second.
What?
I this song is probably almost certainly the better song overall.
Mr. Tinker Train.
It's
No.
incredible.
Zombie Stomp.
Oh my God.
No. Mama, I'm Coming Home. Ozzy doesn't actually have a lot of songs directly about love. But for my money, this is among the all-time great love ballads. It's soft and heartfelt, but also quite heavy at points, with some really great guitar work. Just a beautiful song throughout, like truly special. But I'm going with Road to Nowhere.
God damn it, I love that song, and I was going to give that a shout out if no one else did.
My favorite song on this album. Almost, obviously less well known. It has at times been now I'm the one that's choking a bit. It has at times been the most meaningful song in my life. And it's not even like it's one of those weird things. Like the lyrics it's not like the lyrics mirror my life necessarily, but there's something in it that I connect with, the lyrics and the melody, and just everything in it. It's the one that moves me the most. And as I've said with other music episodes that we've done, that is a huge factor with me. Like if it makes me feel something really intense. Like, despite the quality of the song, it's up there for me. So, for me on this album, very difficult choice, but Road to Nowhere is my number.
It's an amazing song.
That's a
I
great
will
song.
encourage everyone to go seek out the live version from the Ozzy Osbourne Live at Budokan album slash video. I think the guitar work on that live version is even better than the studio version,
Mm.
and Ozzy's vocals are just as incredible. This was kind of like a three-way tie for me between that Mama I'm Coming Home and Nowhere Tears. Like those three
Yeah.
were what made this such a hard pick for me.
Yeah.
I love the song. Even like the opening line of the song, I was looking back on my life and all the things I've done to me. Like that has always just struck me.
Mhm.
Like, not saying like things that happened to me, things I've done to me, like as, Ozzy being someone that has struggled with addiction and made some questionable choices and things like that. I mean, I feel like this song is maybe as introspective as Ozzy gets.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't focused on it a ton. We've definitely mentioned it here and there, but um I think like at this point of his career is where he really started shining lyrically.
Yeah.
Um Definitely, there's less of the crazy songs and more of like really introspective, heartfelt stuff. So
Yeah, this is a great song. I didn't mention this one either, but when I listened to it on the album, I was like, I feel like I know this song. And I don't think I actually did know the song, but like it just sounded so Ozzy that I was like, I feel like I am familiar with the song, even though I don't think I have actually heard this before. Maybe I have. I don't know. It's a great song, though. Great song.
yeah.
I also just, I mean, to drive the point home even more, um, the guitar riff on this is just weirdly like uplifting. I don't know how else to describe it. Like it's one of my favorite Zach Wild guitar performances. It feels different from like anything else that he or Ozzy have done. It's like this weird kind of beautiful uplifting thing.
Mm,
I don't know.
I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Emotions out of the way. Let's move on. Let's
For
move on
now,
for the moment.
Scream, next album here.
Jumping ahead 4 years to 1995. This is the album Osmosis.
Ah, God damn it. All right.
Um, I I'm not sure what to say exactly about this album in general. It it is there's definitely a shift in the sound here. It's definitely moving away from the 80s sounds that we had uh through all of the albums prior to this. It's a little bit more like studio produced, I think. Like there's something in the production that they did something a little different with the recording or the the sounds on it, but it definitely sounds more 90s, which it obviously it is. It's 95, but it definitely like changed that sound a bit. And there's a lot of great songs on here. Um, I think I have four off of this album. I do. Four songs off this album is on my playlist. Um, but the one I'm going to go with here out of these is I Just Want You. And I just like, I really love how the song kind of starts. It's like a mostly clean electric guitar sound. Um, and there's like the vocals on it are uh like low, but like there's like an insistent feeling to it. Like he really wants you to understand these words, kind of feel to it. And later on you get like a really well, it's not even later on, it's like actually there's a bridge in this song that happens like in the first half of the song. But it's really great. I love how that sounds. And just all the guitar on this song and the album in general is stunning again. And it has like different levels of distortion with the guitar, which is cool. Like he bounces back and forth from like high distortion to like a more clean sound, and pulls it off really well.
Joe, do you want to tell me he's wrong or should I?
Go for it, Cody.
All right, you're wrong, Brett. Here's why. My runner-up on this album is "See You on the Other Side."
That's a good one.
Thump, 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 thump. Good drumming on that one. Definite feel. Hey, maybe you guys can help me on this. This was like my legitimate unsolved question about this entire dual podcast. This song sounds a lot like another song, and I can't place it. It goes really hard and then it relaxes. My best guess was maybe it's a Pink Floyd song I'm trying to think of, but it
Ooh,
definitely sounds like another song.
there is, when you said that, I can kind of hear there is a Pink Floyd
Dunk, dunk,
song.
dunk.
It
Mm.
also reminds me of, oh crap.
Right? That's where
It
I was
almost
at.
reminds me of the Cars song Drive, I feel like.
Ah.
But I do feel like there's a Pink Floyd song too. Huh.
Would the Cards be in your top 100 artists of all time? I'd have to think about it for me. That's legit. Anyway, let's move on.
Probably not, but they did some great songs.
He did some great songs.
Drive is one of them.
My winner for this one is a song I had never heard before, which is not I Just Want You. It is the first song, Perry Mason, probably influenced a little bit by the metalhead in my office. This is one of his 2 or 3 favorite songs he gave me for Ozzy, but I did love this one quite a bit.
Also,
Super fun.
it's Learning to Fly by Pink Floyd.
I'll check that out.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's the song.
I will check that out and write that down right now. Um, Good guitar riffs on this one, a little bit of the whammy sound effect on this one also. We got some whisper effects with Ozzy's voice as it goes through on this one. And this is just a bizarro subject for a song. Apparently, it's about Ozzy's lawsuits in the 80s and 90s, and he's fictionalizing Perry Mason being the lawyer here. But what a weird freaking song title choice. Yeah, drums and guitar is fantastic. They lead this one through, and it's just it's a really fun rocker. So Perry Mason is my answer here.
Well, I'm going to tell Cody why he's wrong.
No.
First on this album overall, I feel like this album was in a difficult position because it had to follow No More Tears. Like there are several great songs on this album, but it feels like a step down just because I like No More Tears is such a phenomenal album.
That's fair.
I mean, I do agree with Cody. I love See You on the Other Side. I Just Want You is a great one. I also agree with Cody that my favorite song on the album is Perry Mason. Who
Yeah.
who would have thought that Ozzy Osbourne would write a song about my parents' favorite TV show?
Oh, Leave It to Beaver was their favorite TV show. So
I
confused.
mean, it is currently, but they also watch Perry Mason all the time. This is like, I mean, again,
The old
Cody
one or the
said
new
this.
one?
The old one, although I will say the new one is fucking amazing. Like, I'm
I like
sad that it
watch
got
that. I've seen
canceled.
some of that. Yeah.
Who's in
Yeah,
that?
Alexis,
We're way off
Matthew,
topic, but who's in that?
yeah, Matthew Reese plays Perry Mason in it. Alexis and I watched that. There's 2 seasons.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's like very adult, like kind of film noir take on Perry Mason,
Ooh, I
which
like
More,
that.
yeah, it's like more gritty, less polished.
it's like based on a series of books, and I guess in the books he was like a private investigator before he became a lawyer, and that's kind of like the first season of the show is basically that, and then the second season he is a lawyer, but is still kind of like getting his hands dirty.
Is that
Anyways,
on Apple?
it is on HBO,
Oh, really?
HBO Max now.
I only watched like 2
Um,
shows a calendar year, but I'm gonna write that down.
yeah, oh, it's so good. Anyway, highly recommend. But this song is, I mean, as Cody said, it's based on his real life legal struggles, but ostensibly it seems like kind of a silly, weird subject matter. But damn, does this song go harder than it has any right to? Like, the vocals, the melody, the guitar riff, like everything about it just rocks. And I've always loved this song.
I have to agree. That was one of my 4 on this album that I have on my playlist. And the other one that I'll highlight as my backup is Tomorrow, actually, which neither of you mentioned. So another one, it's really cool. Like he's like pushes his voice really hard in that song. It feels like it's like different tonally than some of the other songs on the album. But has some like really cool, like hard hitting guitar work as well.
It's a good album, but how do you have a song on your album called Thunder Underground and not think to name it Thunderground? Just bothers me. Mr. Jekyll doesn't hide. See, he understood the assignment there, but Thunderground, Ozzy.
Hmm. Don't know if I agree with that one.
All right, let's get to this next album. I'm excited for that.
Let's do it.
I'm scared about this one.
Jumping
Are you?
up 6 years to oh, and that just brought that to mind. I forgot to mention that. Before
Oop.
Osmosis, we have the first of Ozzy's retirement announcements. So, well, crazy about this. 1992, coming off of the No More Tears tour, or it's more specifically, the tour itself was called the No More Tears Farewell Tour.
Oh wow!
Where Ozzy said, "You know what? I'm getting old." And if I mean, to his point, he was, let's see, more math, 43 at that point, which isn't that crazy old.
No.
I mean, I'm a bit over that. So, but he did announce an official retirement after that album. After which he changed his mind with the quote, "What else am I supposed to do? Knit?" And promptly went back to making music. So, one of the notes I had here.
I'm super intrigued to hear what you guys have on this one.
Yes.
Oh, I have something special on this one.
Down to Earth. As I said, releasing in 2001. This is not the last album I bought. I thought it was, but I actually bought Black Rain. Proud about
I'm
it.
sorry.
But
You shouldn't be.
Down to Earth. Anybody have anything to say about this album? So it sounds like you guys have something to say.
Yeah,
So.
I thought it was great that Ozzy did a tribute album to Technical Ecstasy.
Ouch.
This is the
Wow,
worst
dude.
album of Ozzy's career.
Wow.
There it is. You thought it was going to be Scream. It's not. This is low peak.
Wow.
Low Valley. Low Valley Ozzy right here.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you my summary here. Here's what's good about this album, and I quote, "I'm just a dreamer. I dream my life away. I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days." The rest of this album, nothing.
Jesus Christ, man.
Nothing. And that's my song pick as well. A Dreamer, and my backup choice on this was Dirty Women 2001. So not actually on the album, actually. Listeners, don't go look for that. It's not out there.
I like this album.
You would.
Hey, I had not listened to it in quite a while. This was the last Ozzy album that I ever bought, and I enjoyed it back in the day. Like, I didn't even realize that it was
Bad?
so ill-regarded until you guys started talking about it. I mean, I don't think it's, it's not as high a note as some of the earlier ones, but I think it's pretty solid throughout. And it features the only song that my father has ever recorded a version of for some reason.
Black Illusion.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, what? There it is. There he is. Okay.
I'm just a dream.
There it is.
It is cutting out a little bit, but I hear what it is.
Is your dad AI?
I'm just a dreamer
Oh.
who dreams of better days.
Why do I feel like your dad recorded that while playing slot machines?
That's fair. He definitely was like using a keyboard with like pre-programmed backing music. That's terrible, but my father used to be a professional musician back in like the 60s, and is quite a talented guitarist, but for some reason, that is a song that he liked and decided to do that with.
Okay.
So this album is notable in my mind, if only for that. As I said, though, I've always liked this album. I don't know why people shit on it so much.
Because it's bad?
Well,
That
that's
might be a
just like
reason.
your opinion, man. I mean, I like the opening track, Gets Me Through, I think is a solid rocker to start with. I kind of like the song Dreamer, but the pick I chose for my favorite off this album is Running Out of Time. I said, I love an Ozzy ballad. This one feels like he's facing his mortality as an aging rock star who's done a lot of damage to himself over the years. Also, kind of addressing struggles with mental health again. Um, and I have some lyrics here. Again, referencing the things he's put himself through. All the things I put me through, I wouldn't wish my hell on you. You'll never know what's going on inside. So again, kind of dealing with his own struggles. So, Brett, I'm very curious what you think about this album.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a bad album. I
Wrong.
enjoyed a lot of this album. I remember listening to it like when it came out and enjoying a lot of it. I do have 3 songs off this album, which are on my playlist. I don't know where I would put it in the overall list like that. I mean, that wasn't the assignment, so I didn't try and do that. But it's not the bottom for me. I'm fairly certain it's not the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, it would probably be around the middle for me as far as his solo albums, but
Yeah.
I definitely think it's far from his worst output.
Agreed. I think that it definitely like we kind of mentioned how it like kind of was like shifting lyrically. I think definitely is the at this point his career is feeling older and like looking at the latter half of his life coming up. I think there's definitely a lot of that in the lyrics. Maybe too much in the lyrics. I mean, not just this album itself, but everything like kind of afterwards definitely has kind of that tone to it at points. The album as a whole, I enjoyed. I don't know where I would put it overall, but Running Out of Time for me, definitely one of the high points. I do like the message and the lyrics here, and the overall tone is pretty good. I enjoy that. But my favorite song actually is Dreamer. As Cody pointed out, lyrically, there may be points where it's like not the most verbose. But what I do like about this song is that it's he's written a lot of songs that have like a similar message. But I actually kind of feel like this one maybe does it the best out of all those songs that he's written. And what I wrote here is that he may have been the Prince of Darkness, but all the time he was just a man wanting the world to be a better place for all humans and for everything to be in harmony. And like I think that comes out very clearly in that song. It's just very soft, heartfelt, and not as catchy as other songs kind of in that same vein as like maybe Mom, I'm Coming Home or like Changes with Black Sabbath, but is still among kind of that grouping of soft, heartfelt songs that I think he really pulls off well.
I mean, Ozzy himself said, this is not a joke. Ozzy said that this was his version of John Lennon's Imagine, and I could totally see it.
Yeah. It,
Like,
it definitely has that vibe to it of like a
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what Brett and I are saying is Joe's wrong. Let's move on. Sorry, Joe. Are we doing undercover or not?
No.
Okay, then.
No, technically.
All right, then I'm going to throw out just one shout out there. My pick off the undercover cover album is the cover of Mott the Hoople's All the Young Dudes, basically because it's a cover of a good song. So there
I
we
think
go.
you mean the cover of David Bowie's All the Young Dudes.
No,
David Bowie wrote that song.
no.
Yes, that's a fact.
I don't choose to acknowledge David Bowie's existence. So no.
Interesting take. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's on the record now.
You look at his package in Labyrinth and tell me you can't acknowledge that.
God damn it, Magic Pants Dance. I can't quit you.
You can't deny it.
I can't quit you. And that might be the coconut rum talking, but I can't
Dance
quit
magic.
you. Dance, magic dance. You never know where we're going on this podcast.
Undercover.
It's crazy.
That thing was barely undercover, if you know what I mean. Hey.
Conley. Not a good actress.
Let's move ahead to
Oh, how dare you.
2007 with the album Black Rain.
Okay, definitely have this Funko Pop. Let's do this.
This was certainly an album.
This was certainly better than Down to Earth.
No.
But yes.
Mm.
I'll start on this one, Brad. Let's see if anything you want to say about it.
Go ahead.
All right. I was going into this album knowing and fairly enjoying, but not loving the song I Don't Want to Stop, which I think encapsulates Ozzy's attitude towards life, to be quite honest. So I expected that was going to be my choice. Surprisingly, it didn't make either of the top two spots for me. My runner-up was the song Lay Your World on Me, which, although a bit simple and manufactured, it was kind of like somebody told Ozzy we need a quick ballad with a medley. But it does stand out a little bit among his other songs. But my winner for this one, the song I replaced I Don't Want to Stop with, is Not Going Away. This one felt a little harder and more authentically Ozzy than the kind of like radio-friendly I Don't Want to Stop. And this felt like Ozzy was just kind of basically saying, fuck it, with the tone of this song. I'll Wait for You in No Man's Land. Zakk Wylde sounds a little more unique than even normal on this one. At 2:25, we get a shredding solo on the guitar for 40 seconds straight, which is fantastic. Then we get the Ozzy whispering that starts until the song builds back up with anger and starts to layer the sound until it comes back for one more go round. This is Not Going Away off of Black Rain.
I thought this album was okay. I said it was not bad, but it feels like it's trying too hard to modernize Ozzy's sound. None of the songs really stood out to me that much. Like, I wouldn't be mad if most of these songs came up randomly, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to any of them. And that being said, I picked the song Countdown's Begun.
What?
It is another anti-war song from Ozzy, which I always appreciate. I like the guitar work. It's got a pretty solid riff and some good vocal work from Ozzy. But yeah, overall, I was not a huge fan of this album.
That's fair. There are only a few songs on here which I really kind of feature. Like, there's a lot of forgettable songs on here, I feel like, as well. This could be the low album for me. As I said again, I didn't do that, but just thinking about what's on this album, definitely could be down there. I do really enjoy the song "Lay Your World on Me" as another like softer, more heartfelt song. But the best one for me on here, while it is like the more polished radio friendly song, is "I Don't Want to Stop." It's it's interesting. Like the early parts of the song kind of it's like the bass and the drums kind of like give a sound almost like a train. Well, I think it's kind of reminiscent, perhaps on purpose, to Crazy Train. And like the whole song is just kind of like, while like being more radio friendly, is also like really kind of in your face, both with the music and the vocals are kind of like loud and just kind of bold. I noted here that it does a good job of letting all the instruments be heard clearly, like everything's kind of featured in its own way. and all sound pretty great. And the other song that I'll just mention very briefly, I do really enjoy this title track, Black Rain, because he comes back and plays some harmonica, which he hadn't done since some point in Black Sabbath. I don't even know what the last song was, but yeah, plays a bit of harmonica there. So yeah, overall, I would have to agree, not a great album.
Speaking of which,
how dare you?
Jumping
I will fight you.
3 more years, 2010's release, the album Scream, which
is a fucking atrocity.
It's better than Down to Earth.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely so. It's better than Technical Ecstasy.
I will give you, but that doesn't take much.
That's true.
I'll take the concession.
I hate the album. I think it's
not good.
It's not good. I think it has similarities to Black Rain in that there's some forgettable songs on here.
Yeah, please don't mistake me. It's not good. I'm just saying it's better than that other album.
As soon as the vocal started on the opening track, my immediate thought was, what the fuck did they do to my beautiful Ozzy?
Oh, noes.
Apparently, the producer of this album previously worked with acts including Britney Spears, Celine Dion, and Robert Downey Jr.
You like Celine Dion?
I do love Celine Dion, but she's not Ozzy Osbourne. The producer has a history of working on pop albums, and I feel like that's what they're trying to make this album into. Like, it feels like a weird, I don't know, like new metal, rap metal. I don't know what the fuck I would describe it as, but it's like they put all these weird effects on Ozzy's vocals on a lot of the tracks, and like it's like they're trying to completely reshape Ozzy's sound and make it like modern and edgy, and like it just, I fucking hated this album.
What'd you pick for your song, Joe? I'm curious.
I picked "Digging Me Down," which I described as being like Ozzy Osbourne meets Rob Zombie or something.
Oh, "Digging Me Down." Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally what I heard. Okay.
No. "Digging Me Down" is the song I wrote about David Bowie after seeing Labyrinth. This is "Digging Me Down."
Okay.
Which I said is like Ozzy meets Rob Zombie or something. Definitely doesn't really feel like Ozzy style, but still kind of rocks.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually.
I do love it, hearing that song. It's enjoyable for me.
That's not bad.
Yeah, as far as like his the production of this album, I mean I'll note this on the next one we're talking about specifically. Because, well, I mean, it's a long time later, but I feel like perhaps there was some, he's definitely getting up there in age here. I think perhaps like his voice was not quite where they want it to be, and maybe they did some extra production to cover some things, maybe, or maybe that's just the sound they felt they wanted to go with. But it does feel a bit overproduced at points. I have to agree. But my songs of this album, my runner-up was "Let Me Hear You Scream." I think it's high energy, fast paced. It kind of feels like it's the soul of rock music. Like that's like it's a very stereotypical rock song in sound and message. But my favorite one is another one of Ozzy's heartfelt songs. It is "Time," and it starts out with I think it's a cello. I don't actually know. I have a hard time identifying various stringed instruments, but it starts out with something. If it's not synthesized, it's a string.
It sounds like a cello.
Yeah. But just as a very bassy sound to it. And has some of these vocalizations in here kind of between the verses, and I like the progression of the vocals in the chorus is really good. It's like this kind of it's a kind of sad kind of sound, but it also is beautiful at the same time. And this is one where, as I kind of mentioned before, he starts writing a lot of songs about running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously what this one is about, but it it just has a certain beautiful quality to it to me. Still has some heavy points, but is very memorable to me. It hits kind of those things that I'm looking for.
Yeah, so the Scream album for me, it's not great. It's not an album I would go listen to be like, I want to hear the Scream album today. But purely as just a background rock album that's on in the background, I think it's totally passable. Like if it was on in the background, I wouldn't turn it off because it's just a good rock album. It's not a great rock album by any stretch, but for me, it's better than a couple of the other ones we covered here. But I want to highlight, I had no runner up on this one. My winner is Let Me Hear You Scream. And here's where time is not fair, right? Because listen, like, here, let me read you these lyrics. Let me hear you scream like you want it. Let me hear you yell like you mean it. If you're going down, go loud, go strong, go proud, go on, go hard, or go home, which are fun lyrics, but kind of stereotypical rock lyrics or whatever. But here's where time is not fair, right? These are Ozzy lyrics in 2010 as he wrote these. Now, picture, if you would, those exact same lyrics sung by AC/DC in 1978. People would go ape shit for that stuff.
Yeah.
Same lyrics, just a totally different time period. If it had been a song that released in 1978 by a different band or maybe even Black Sabbath at the time, it'd be super.
Those aren't even lyrics, though. That's literally just like, yay, make noise, woo.
A
Like
lot
there's
of
nothing
music
there.
is a lot
I
of
know,
music
but
is
like
yay
it's
make
like
noise.
literally not saying anything.
A lot of music is yay make noise. I hate to break it to you,
But not in
but
so
it's
many
true.
words.
Maybe. I'm just saying. I think it would have been more successful at a different time period, sung by a different band. But anyway, that's what I got. It's an okay album.
Disagree.
It's about to get better, though. Get ready.
Where's
And
Posty?
We got the man, the myth, the legend coming up here. Also, that coconut rum is hitting real good right now. Just put that out there. This glass is getting pretty empty.
My drink has been gone.
Fast forwarding 10 whole years into the future,
Holy shnikes, really?
and one more retirement announcement, which came in 2018. The No More Tours 2 tour. Kind of self-deprecating there a little bit. Which that tour actually had to stop because he fell and had a spinal injury. So they actually had to stop that tour and cancel it entirely. But his second official retirement announcement came in 2018 before this album came out.
They had to replace him with Axl Rose and a throne. I might have some facts mixed up in there.
A toilet, yes.
Maybe.
2020 saw the release of the album Ordinary Man, which, to be perfectly honest, this was the kind of point, I feel, in part because it had been 10 years between albums. And as I kind of talked about before, I went through a period where I was listening to all my CDs in my car on my commute. And then I got Sirius XM and I started listening to more new music. And I stopped listening to my albums. And I think when this song came out, I had kind of reached a point where I they had the which was the big single off of here. Probably, I guess it was probably Ordinary Man was the single they released off of here. I believe that's what I remember the most, I think. But
there was a big single of this?
It looks like Under the Graveyard has the most plays, at least on the app I'm looking at,
That's true.
followed closely by Ordinary Man.
Interesting. Uh, like I remember hearing the song and being like, okay, I kind of like it, but I don't know. I must have some point listened to the entire album, but it definitely kind of just like went by and like I didn't really pay attention to it, which in hindsight makes me sad, but that's just how it was. But I did really enjoy coming back and listening to this album to do this episode. Um, there's some work here that I do really enjoy. But I'll let you guys talk about it first.
I felt like this was a step in the right direction after the unmitigated disaster of Scream. A
Wow.
lot of this feels like classic Ozzy, although I probably could have done without the last track featuring Post Malone. Which, like, honestly, no shade to Post Malone. I appreciate him as an artist. I like several of his songs, but feels a little out of place with Ozzy to me.
Do you mean last two tracks with Post Malone?
Well, so the last track is actually a Post Malone song featuring Ozzy Osbourne.
But on an Ozzy album.
I'm guessing that's a bonus thing on the digital versions, but I'm not
I
100%
don't
sure on that.
know.
I think it might be an extended version. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I picked the opening track, Straight to Hell. It feels like a classic Ozzy song. It immediately made me interested in listening to this more than the past couple albums. And I feel like it was the right track to kick things off with. That's all I
Nice.
have to say.
I can go next on this one just to piss Joe off. I chose on this one the final track, Take What You Want, Post Malone featuring Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott. And I'm not even joking about that. That's actually the song I picked off this album only because it's
Wow.
technically on the album and sounds so different than anything else Ozzy has done that we've reviewed so far. But
I can
maybe
confirm that that is a bonus track on CD, cassette, and digital editions. So that is not
perfect.
technically
Technically, it's on the album then, it sounds like.
part of the proper
Fantastic.
album.
Although I said it may be the most offensive album in that it lacks a true banger. Other albums might be boring, but none may be as bland as this one. So I'm picking the Post Malone Travis Scott song, although this album itself does not get high remarks from me.
Okay. I mean, it's hard for me because like I said, I basically came in hearing this for the first time to do this episode. So I haven't had a lot of time with these songs. Um, so it's hard for me to listen to them and say, oh yeah, this is something that is definitely going to stay like I'm in my playlist or anything like that, and I'm going to want to come back and listen to more. Um, that said, I do enjoy the song "Ordinary Man," which features Elton John and kind of
I believe you
co-vocal.
mean Sir Elton John?
I mean I do, as also he's Sir Ozzy Osbourne.
Believe you mean does it
Is
feature
is
him?
he?
I guess
I'm
so.
pretty sure.
I was trying to look that up earlier, and I don't know if he has any British titles.
That could be true. Maybe I'm misremembering.
So Elton John is a sir and Brett is a sir, but Ozzy is not.
I don't think Ozzy Osbourne is even like an OBE, like Order of British Empire,
A
or like any of the
gynecologist?
like. No,
Oh,
I don't think he has any like official British titles, which is bullshit. Like honestly, I
Yeah,
mean, again, he helped invent an entire genre of music.
that seems odd, but
Like it's bullshit. I think fucking Roger Daltrey from The Who has been knighted, and fuck that guy. Anyway,
I mean, it's just further going down that rabbit hole a bit. Just the fact that he only just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year is is a travesty. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. Uh, that said, my song off of this album is the track "All My Life." It opens softly, but is like very common with a lot of Ozzy songs. It kind of launches into this awesome like vocal and guitar combo. Um, one thing I do note on this song is that it again I kind of alluded to it on the previous one, and this is 10 years in the future, but his voice definitely does. You can hear it. It's sounding a bit frail at this point in his career. He sounds like an old man singing music. Not that it sounds bad, but it does have that quality to it, good or bad. But again, this song I do find it to be very catchy. I really enjoy how the guitar and the vocals kind of seem to work really well together. They're like kind of in tune with each other. And is another kind of softer, heartfelt song. So with that, we will jump ahead 2 more years, which seems kind of crazy, given that there was 10 years between the previous album. But here we get 2 albums in a span of from 2020 to 2022. But Patient Number 9, the album released in 2022. And this album is interesting of note in that it's really like a collab album. Like literally, like almost every single song is written with someone else, some other artist who is, famous in their own right. So in that regard, you get several songs in here that have a different tone and kind of vibe to them, which is interesting on its own.
Yeah, the guitarists on this one are a crazy lineup, but
yeah. So you've got I'll just go through them here quick. You got Jeff Beck, Mike McCready, Zach Wilde featured here on a few of them. Tony Iommi is here on a couple tracks. Eric Clapton, does he play on that track? Do you know anybody?
He does.
I don't know if he. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
he I believe he both plays guitar and does some backing vocals.
yeah, okay.
He's not. I mean, it's so just to clarify, like Zach Wilde is on most of the tracks, and
Right.
like including the one with Eric Clapton, I believe, or no, maybe he's not on that one. But like Jeff Beck, Tony Iommi, etc., are not necessarily playing all the guitar parts on the tracks that they're on.
Mm,
I think Zach Wilde is still doing like some of the like main guitar, and then the guests are just doing like solos.
gotcha. That makes sense. So yeah, as his final solo album, was kind of an interesting choice to go this route. Not that he knew it was going to be his final album, but as it turned out. But there's some really cool songs on here, and this is another one. Again, because of the way that just I kind of went with my musical listening habits. One that I only heard like 1 or 2 tracks off of this because they got some radio play, and so I kind of came into this kind of blind, and I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed quite a bit of this album.
I agree. I had missed this one as well. I mean, I will say of his last few albums, this is the one that I see myself revisiting kind of moving forward. Um, it feels kind of like a fitting last album. It's actually interesting to me that like both the final Black Sabbath album and what became Ozzy's final solo album feel kind of like returns to form. And like this album, I feel like, I mean, I put in my notes, I think this is his best overall album in at least 20 years. Like, I think this is a far better album than at least everything since Down to Earth, probably including Down to Earth. This is probably his best album since Osmosis, like at
I
least.
think I would agree with that. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's kind of incredible that it was so late in his life and career. I mean, he's well into his 70s at this point. Um, I love that Zach Wild came back because they had a split for a while. That's not something we really mentioned, but
Yeah, we kind of didn't. That.
Black Rain had been the last album that Zach Wild was on. So Scream featured Gus G, which who cares? And then
He's no Jakey
Ordinary,
Lee, I'll tell you that.
that is true actually, which is not saying much about Gus G. Um,
Ouch.
and then Ordinary Man had kind of a number of different guitarists throughout it. But then Zach Wild's not on every track on Patient Number Nine, and it feels like it was not as close of a collaboration as some of the earlier stuff, but it was nice to have him back for this last one.
I'm glad to hear all this
Um,
because I told you guys, spoiler, this was a good album. So I'm
yeah.
happy to hear all this.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like this is a very fitting final album for Ozzy. Um, I kind of had a hard time picking a song from this one because I do think there are several good ones. I ended up settling on Evil Shuffle,
Oh, okay.
which I like because to me it kind of feels like a full circle of Ozzy's career. It's very bluesy and kind of reminds me of, like the early blues rocky Sabbath stuff, but it also heavily features Zach Wild doing Zach Wild stuff on guitar. So it's kind of like a marriage of, the beginning and latter days of Ozzy. And then I also did want to mention, though, that I got weirdly emotional listening to the very last track on this album, Dark Side Blues, which
Yeah.
is a weird, like, muffled, not even 2 minute long thing that once again features Ozzy playing some harmonica. And like that to me felt like it was just like way back to the beginning. And for some reason that just kind of hit me in my feelings a little bit. So I
Yeah.
appreciated that as well. And just
To
like
break
the,
in real quick, it feels like it was like a lost recording from Black Sabbath.
yeah, yes,
It's very
yeah.
cool for a last track.
And yeah, and having that be like the last track on the last Ozzy Osbourne album, God damn it, I'm getting emotional again. It felt appropriate in a weird
Yeah.
way.
I'll jump in here. So, as I said, like I was pleasantly surprised with this album. I feel like there's multiple songs in here which are very enjoyable to listen to. Um, the one I will highlight as my secondary is Patient Number Nine, which was the big single off this album. Um, very cool. Uh, the vocals in this one are really cool. It just like it's a different kind of pacing and delivery than I think a lot of his other work. But it's very catchy and kind of hits hard too. But the song that I gravitated to on this album, and I no joke over the last several days have listened to this. I'll just throw it like 20 times maybe because it like got in my head and I was like, damn, this song is really and like I would put this song up currently, a bit of uh just words are failing me now. But recency bias, there it is. Um, but I would put this like among some of the best songs that he has currently, and this is Mr. Darkness. Um, I I found myself falling in love with this song. Because it starts out like kind of very reminiscent of his early work, like a sound almost off of like Diary of a Madman. It's kind of like eerie and kind of weird. Um, but from the first time I heard the chorus, when the guitar like opens up into the riff, I was in love with it. It's like the guitar and the vocals really complement each other very well again, kind of playing back and forth on each other. And I just love the riff in general. It goes into a bridge later on that's like obviously massively inspired by Sabbath sounds, which I really enjoyed. And then it finishes up with I don't think I brought it up, but like the ending, or maybe I did, yes. The ending of Bark at the Moon is like really fast and like intricate and just a really cool guitar solo. This one's even more than that for me. Like it is like Zakk Wylde, this is might be his best. Like I can't even fathom your brain like comprehending what you're doing that quickly. Like it is so fast and intricate and cool. I love this song from start to finish.
Is that me?
Yes.
That's down to you.
Well, I just want to pre-shout out, since they were not featured on albums, I just want to pre-shout out the duet with Lita Ford, Close My Eyes Forever, as well as off the Greatest Hits album, Ozman Come with the song Back on Earth, both of which I enjoy considerably. Not on proper studio albums, so they didn't make our official countdown tonight. But on page number 9, my runner-up song is God Only Knows, which I think is just kind of a pretty song in its own way. And my winner here for the final Ozzy album is the featuring Jeff Beck, Patient Number 9 song. Good guitar work on this one. I love the theme of this song. It's just kind of interesting as far as you guys have just kind of both talked about, like Ozzy, as I feel like a lot of people do, maybe knew he was close to the end, right? And this was like him kind of reflecting back on everything, which was, I think in his case, the idea that he wasn't just going to sit around and wait till it happened. He was going to go out on his own terms. And I think this Patient Number 9 idea is maybe him exploring that a little bit as far as, metaphorically putting himself in like a hospital with time running out and things of this nature, but also the fact that like he's as he always has, like trying to escape, the mainstream and trying to escape time as it were and all the things that he did in his lifetime. And so this is like maybe his way. Great guitar work on this one. Just really good theme on this one. As soon as I heard this song when it came out, like I was like, this is a fantastic Ozzy song. Like Ozzy's back. We didn't get a ton of Ozzy past that point, unfortunately, but this song is a great song for me to kind of remember him as just, I don't know. I mean, how many people would have said this guy was like institutionalized or should have been, in his life through all the crazy shit he did, but he, guess lived his own way. I guess he's patient number 9. So there we go. I was trying to find some kind of significance to the number 9 on this song, and I guess all I could really find in Googling this and searching was like 9 is like the last digit before you get to double digits, so it's like the end of like a era, I guess, in its own way. And so maybe that's why he chose this title. Like, I'm intrigued why he chose Patient Number 9 as the name of this song as opposed to any other number. Because it's not 9 Ozzy albums. Like, I counted that. That's not right. So I don't know if there's significance behind that number or just a random number he picked. But I do feel like at times he probably felt like society thought he probably should have been, like, locked up in a straitjacket as a patient somewhere in a mental institution. And this is kind of his goodbye song, so that's what I went with.
Nice. Yeah, you brought up the song with Lita Ford, Close My Eyes Forever. Yeah, it's fair to note that he did a lot of collaborations over the years. That I think probably is the primary one. I certainly is the most popular, I would have to say. But I mean, there's he's done songs with just a few here. So there's song with Gary Moore, Alice Cooper, let's see here, Motorhead.
Yeah.
There's
Primus.
at one, yeah, Primus. Apparently there was a duet with Madonna in the
Oh,
works
wow.
that like got canceled for one reason or another. I don't know the story on that. He did a song with Miss Piggy.
Oh,
It's a cover of Born to Be Wild.
you made it when?
That's out there. This one I had forgotten about, but off of the South Park movie soundtrack, collaboration with Crystal Method, DMX, and Old Dirty Bastard,
Holy shit.
Wow.
which is actually a pretty darn good song. I mean, I don't necessarily enjoy the the work of the other artists he's with there, but there's some good parts of that song. It's a lot. It's a long list. Coal Chamber, I listen to that. It's a cover of Shock the Monkey.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Gabriel.
that. Yeah,
That's a good
that
version.
that is a good one.
So there was a lot out there that he worked. He was not afraid to work with other people and do some collaboration work. But I think the last thing that we'll talk about here, obviously is the last solo album to talk about, but I will mention here the Back to the Beginning concert, which they held on July 5th this year at Villa Park in Birmingham, England, which was so appropriate as it ended where it all began. And it was the first time since 2005 that all four members of Black Sabbath had played together. The reunion previous to that had Bill Ward was not included in that, I think, just because of more like personal reasons more than anything there. But they had all four of them together. Ozzy played not every song, but sang some songs. Seated on a black throne, which is really awesome. He at this point in his life, because he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's since 2002 and had advanced fairly considerably to the point where I don't think he could not have stood through that show. So he was seated the whole time, but I've seen parts of it. I was not able to watch it live because it wasn't on something that I had. Definitely something because they said they're going to release it in other formats. Definitely something I will pick up at some point.
I think they're going to release it in theaters next year. I saw.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting some more of that because I haven't seen a lot from it. But one thing
I don't know if I can watch it. I mean, I've seen a few clips from it, but I didn't get to watch most of it, and I'll probably see it in the theater, but it's going to destroy me.
Yeah.
Do it.
But 17 days after that, Ozzy died in his home from a heart attack. Presumably going peacefully, as we all can hope to do at some point. But and I think this was actually before he died. I don't know precisely, but they did have an interview with Sharon, his wife Sharon. She was recounting how after the Back to the Beginning show, Ozzy had told her, quote, "I had no idea that so many people liked me."
Aw.
Which I think if you pay attention to his lyrics, I think there's a lot of that throughout his career where he did not feel like he was worthy of of everything he had. But I'd certainly say that yes, we indeed did like and love you, Ozzy. So as we did with the Black Sabbath segment, we'll go through it just quickly, and we can each give our overall favorite song from Ozzy's solo career. This one was very hard for me, and I was I'm gonna kind of switch things up here. Well, actually, Joe did the same thing in the Black Sabbath one, so I don't feel bad about it. But
Stop cheating.
my number one song overall is one that I did not select from one of my albums, but it is "Mama, I'm Coming Home." It it's so damn good all around. Like it's beautiful in its message and in the sound. And it's still heavy and has awesome guitar work. It was either that or Road to Nowhere, which is the one I picked off the album, which made it extra hard because I knew the one I picked probably would be the one overall. But then I switched it up anyways and broke the rules. So
Go Cody.
All right. I'm going to cop out on this one. So,
The whole Scream album.
yeah. For me, this comes down to either Mama, I'm Coming Home or Crazy Train, just as the penultimate song here in the final pick. I'm gonna go with Crazy Train just because, only because, although Mama might have more emotion to it, I do feel like Crazy Train is the Ozzy song. Like if I think of Ozzy, that's the song I think of first. And it's such a unique song, and the stuff that he added into it as well to make it kind of sound different than everything else he did and any other song that's out there, period. So I'm going to go with Crazy Train as my favorite pick for Ozzy songs.
I also toyed with the idea of Mama, I'm Coming Home. And I mean, just to be clear, once again, that's an amazing song. Um, but
Take what you want, featuring Post Malone and Travis Scott.
I am gonna have to go with the song that was my pick off of that same album, which is No More Tears. I feel like it's maybe blasphemous not to pick one of the Randy Rhoads songs, but I feel like in my mind that's kind of the ultimate Ozzy song. It rocks hard. It's got that kind of little brief, lovely interlude. I think structurally it's a little more interesting than some of the earlier stuff. And God damn it, that guitar solo.
God damn it, indeed.
Quickly, do you want to go and pick your favorite album?
Oh,
We have,
Jesus.
what did I count here? It was 12? 12 solo albums, I believe. A lot to pick from. It was I didn't bring it up when you were mentioning, but Joe, you had mentioned that you thought Osmosis was a step back from No More Tears, and I actually disagree with that. Despite the incredible songs on No More Tears, I think I've definitely listened to Osmosis the most. I feel like that album just all the way through has great songs. Probably like the best songs aren't as good, but overall, I love that album start to finish.
Well, you're wrong. The best album is No More Tears. I feel like I've already talked about it at length, but um I mean honestly, like even if it's only the three songs we've already kind of discussed at length, Mama, I'm Coming Home, No More Tears, and Road to Nowhere, like those are maybe my top three favorite Ozzy songs, or certainly far up there. And then I mean I love I Don't Want to Change the World. Like I like I like to love all of the songs on that album, I feel like. And I think for me, it is probably the best Ozzy solo album.
God damn it. This is hard. I mean, it does have Zombie Stomp. That's a point in its favor. I am going to cop out on this one, and if the best song is from this album, I am going to pick it as the best album as well. I'm going to pick Blizzard of Oz, based on the strength of Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance, Suicide Solution, and Mr. Crowley. I don't know how you beat that. So that's my pick.
Pretty potent.
Best album was his first album. There you go. But I think he finished very strongly as well. So it had some highs and lows in between.
Awesome. Honestly, you can't go wrong with too many here. So, if there's no other further thoughts.
Well, I'm just going to say that during the podcast, I ordered 2 of the Funkos I didn't have of Ozzy, so I just spent $102. That just happened.
Jesus Christ.
Well, look where the glass is, Joe. Look where the glass is. Okay? Feeling real good right now about Ozzy and his whole legacy is what I meant. So
That's fair. What a legacy it was. Like,
what a legacy it was. We didn't even talk about the Osbournes. What the heck?
Can we continue
so
not
much.
talking about the Osbournes?
I think we can continue not talking about it.
I will say, I mean, mixed feelings though I had about that show. To this day, my parents have a pretty large magnet from the Osbournes on their refrigerator that I bought like during the heyday of that show just because I loved Ozzy.
That's wild. Yeah, that's actually one of the 30 albums that I own is it's essentially like a soundtrack for the show.
Oh, does it have the Pat Boone theme song?
Probably. I haven't looked at it, but I know it's in there. I can see it from here. But I don't know what songs are on it.
I am intrigued to find this album.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much more that we could talk about, but we've been here talking for quite a long time. So we're gonna end it here. Thank you all for listening. Again,
thank you, Ozzy Osbourne,
thank
wherever
you
are.
This has been Friends Occasion Not Disagreeing. I'm Brett, and again, we have here Joe and Cody talking about all things Ozzy. If you happen to be listening to this first, go back and listen to the part 1 of this about Black Sabbath, and we will see you all next time.
Hey guys.
Bye.